Hi JD Creatives, welcome back to another beautiful tutorial on how to make this cross turban cap. It's a very simple turban cap and it's very easy to make. If this is your first time of coming across my video, welcome. Hit the subscribe button, drop your comment, like, and lastly, do not forget to share. So guys, let's get right into the class. Welcome back. So we are going to be making that cap you just saw on your screen. It's a very simple and easy to make cap, and the fabric I have here is a poly fabric. That's the light poly. So you can use the thick poly, you can use raw silk, you can use scuba, that's the light scuba, and you can also use shimmer fabric. So those, any stretchy fabric you can use, but you can also use non-stretchy fabric. If you're making use of a non-stretchy fabric, whatever measurement we are using here, you can just add 5 inches to it, 5 or 4 inches to it, if you are using a non-stretchy fabric. But if it's a stretchy fabric you are using, you need, this measurement is fine. So, and the measurement we have here, let's check. So I just fold my fabric into 2 like so, and the length on fold I have 26.5 inches here. You can use 27, you can use 28. 26 is fine. So, and the width is 19 inches. 19 inches. So it's supposed to be cut into 2, but I'm going to finish sewing before I cut it into 2. So I'll finish my stitch before I cut into 2. So, but you can just cut yours into 2 and sew. You can see this place is still on fold. I've not cut it. So, but when I'm done making my pleats, I'll just slash it open. And but if you're cutting out 2 pieces, this is the measurement. The first one you cut out 26 or 27 inches by 19 inches. Now the stretchy part is the 26 inches. That's the part that is stretchy, and that's going to be the head circumference, is the 20 inches. So in other words, is your head circumference times 2. Your head circumference times 2 plus maybe like 2 inches. Whatever your head circumference is times 2 plus 2 or 3 inches. So that is what I have here. I have my head circumference plus 3 inches, and it is in 2 places. So that's 26 inches times 2. So the whole length I have here is 52 inches by 19 inches. So if you are making this for a baby girl, maybe a small baby girl, you can just use your measurement. You can just use 17 inches. That's the head circumference, 17 inches by 10 inches. That's the length of the cap, 10 inches. Then the width, that's the stretchy part, the head circumference part, 17 inches for children, if you're making for children. So the next thing we are going to do now is to fold our fabric. So you just, this is the, let me see, can't even differentiate the wrong or the, okay, let me just use this part as the wrong side, and this is the right side. So I'm going to fold, this is the wrong side, so you just place your wrong side this way. You fold in 1.5 inches. You fold in 1.5 inches. So I have 1.5 inches here. You can see what I'm doing, just folding 1.5 inches. So this is 1.5 inches. So when you get to 1.5 inches, you just hold it. You see the way I hold it, then you pin it down. So you just pin it. You can see it. So you go ahead again. You measure your 1.5 inches just to have an accurate stitch. So you measure your 1.5 inches again, and you pin. So you continue like that. 1.5 inches, you pin this all the way down. You also pin the other side, the other end. This is one end. This end also, you also pin it also the way you pin this place. Then the way you pin this part, you also pin this part like that all the way down. Then you take it to your sewing machine and sew. So I've gone ahead to pin, you can see. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine now, and I'll stitch all the way down. If you have a weaving machine, you can also weave it all the way down, just the way it is like this. You just weave it all the way down. So whatever I did here, you can see I repeat it on this other side. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine now, and I'm going to stitch all the way down and stitch this side also. So I've gone ahead to sew. So I stitch it all the way down. So, and this is how, this is the front and this is the back. So the next thing we are going to do now is to mark our pleats, our stitch. Is it stitch or pleats? Okay, so I'm just trying to arrange to make it equal. So get chalk. Now from this last stitch here, I'll mark 1.5 inches, another 1.5 inches. You can make yours 2 inches, you can make it 1 inches, depends on your preference, but I'm using 1.5 inches here. So I'll just mark my 1.5 inches. Okay, so this is what I have. So the next thing, I'll just notch the markings. Remember, we folded it into 2, so the edge must be the same. So I'll just notch. Let's give it. So this is what I have. So the next thing is to pick this 1.5 inches. I'll pin it all the way down. So this is the first 1.5 inches. I'll keep measuring the 1.5 inches, and I'll pin all the way to the other side. So you take it to your sewing machine, you stitch it tiny, just a little stitch, small stitch all the way down. So you continue like that. You pick another one and another notch, you pin it all the way down, you sew. So you continue like that till you finish sewing all the lines. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. So I'm done with, this is it, you can see. So the next thing, I'm going to fold it now and cut it into 2. You know, I told you I'm going to cut it when I'm done with my stitch. So I'm just going to cut it open like so. So this is what we have. So you just place it down like so, the wrong side facing down. So you just cross it this way. So you just cross it. See the way I cross it? So when you're done crossing, you pin. So you pick this side, like the way you see the way I pick it, you pin. You pin. So you come to this side also, you pick this side also, you pin it. Now we have here and here, so you pick this side, so this is the back, so you make sure that they are equal, so you pin. Okay, so you can see we pin 3 lines. So you take it to your sewing machine, you stitch it all the way like so, to very close to a point where you cannot go again. You stitch this also, you stitch this also the same way. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine now, and I'll stitch, and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead to stitch. So this is the first one, and I did not get to the end. Let's say I just stitch like let me measure it, 8 inches. From the beginning I stitch up to 8 inches, but this middle one, the middle stitch, that's where is it? Yeah, this is it. So this middle stitch, I stitch it very close inside. This is where I ended it. So let's say I stitch this middle one, I stitch up to like 13.5 inches. Then this other one should be the same 8 inches. So that is what I have here. So this is the back and this is the front. So the next thing we are going to do now is to fold it into 2, like so. This is the opening, so just fold it into 2. Then you place your head circumference divided by 2. So from the middle here, my head circumference is 23. So but I'm going to be using 22, which is 11. So this is 11, and I'll just pin it. So I'm going to sew from this 11. I'll sew it all the way down. So you just sew all the way to the back here. So I'll take it to the sewing machine now. I'll sew from this 11. I'll just sew it all the way down to this point. So I'll be right back. So going ahead to sew the back. This is what we have. So the next thing is to run the gather stitch. Here you take your needle and thread, and you run your stitch. If you watch this video to this point, do well to hit the subscribe button, like, drop your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share. Show me some love. I appreciate you, all my old subscribers that always come back here to watch these my videos. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much. I love you so much. So you just run your gather stitch, pull very tight, then you lock your stitch. If you can go back again, it will be nice. So, and we are done. This is what we have. So this is it. Here is our cap. You can use an invisible stitch to tack it down here so that it will not be moving around. Just tack it down. Just tack in a way that it will not show. So this is what we have. This is the front, and this is the back. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.